All right, there we go. So if we could officially begin our church service by having someone ring the bell, or several someones, if you want to have a few people do it. We've got a couple of people lined up. Go ahead. Go ahead, Delilah. Don't be shy. They'll show you how to do it. Just pull hard and then give it about 2 seconds and then pull it again. There you go. Ooh, good one. It's just a fun thing to do, and it really does raise the vibration of the chapel. There you go. See? It's fun. And now you can all say you've rung the Christabelle. Thank you all for remaining socially distant this morning. I do appreciate that. And as I say every week, if you feel comfortable taking your mask off, feel free to. You are all at least 6 feet apart. I ask that you please turn off any cell phones or at least put them on vibrate. Yes, Margaret?
I got a new cell phone and I don't know how to put it on vibrate.
Oh, okay.
So you know, hopefully it won't ring.
Hopefully, okay. We can maybe help you with that afterwards if you need to. It's one of the many services we provide here at Christabelle.
You were just saying how techy you use.
Huh?
You were just saying how techy you are.
Oh, yeah. All right, now, so before we begin officially, I do have several announcements for us to go through. And I'm actually pretty excited about some of the things that we have going on here. Our next church board meeting is scheduled for May 2nd, and any church members are welcome to attend. Please come and be a part of the direction of our church. I'm sure that our board members would be very open to any suggestions that you all have to help bring our church forward and to help reach as many people as possible in the best ways possible. Our spring cleanup day is scheduled for May 1st, which I kind of think is sort of fitting, being that it's May Day. But let's all pitch in, help get our wonderful grounds ready for summer. If you are interested in helping out that day, again, that day, May 1st, we're going to probably start around 10 or 11 in the morning and go till probably dusk. But if you are interested in helping out, please see Deb, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, or Barb, as they are the two people coordinating that. Wednesday, May 12th, that is our next Wednesday evening Spirit Greeting service. Everyone in attendance does receive a reading. We start at 6:30 p.m. and we go until everyone has been read. The cost for that is $20, and we are limiting it to 20 people, so please sign up early, either through Facebook, through the Facebook event that we have created, or if you'd like to see me after church, let me know. Just kind of give us a heads up you're coming. For those of you who made it to the last Wednesday evening Spirit Greeting, wasn't that one kind of fun? That one was really something else. It was an interesting night and a very fun, kind of a profound night. Rummage sale. I am excited about this. We have tables of goods in there already, which is wonderful. We're going to be having the rummage sale. It's going to be the 4th, 5th, and 6th of June. And if you do have anything else you'd like to donate, please bring it in on some Sunday, and we'll make sure that it gets put in the sale, make sure it gets all tagged and everything is taken care of. And I really appreciate, I want to just say this very quickly, I really do appreciate all of you who have already brought in so many wonderful items for sale. That really means a lot. We appreciate that. Also, if you'd like to volunteer that weekend, please see Deb or Barb again, and they can help you with that. We are always welcoming volunteers to help out here on Sunday, to usher as well as to fill in the chairperson position on the platform. And, of course, we'll train you on etiquette and all that sort of thing. And even though I may not be the most refined, it's kind of fun when you're up here. If you are interested in serving the church in that capacity, just come see me after church. For anyone who would rather provide their offering online rather than in cash here at church, we do have a church virtual offering plate that is available not only on our Facebook page, but also on our church's website as well. Anything that you can add to the offering plate is greatly appreciated. And thank you in advance, everyone. Now, if you could please bow your heads for the reading of our invocation, we will officially begin our church service for today. Infinite Spirit, we stand in this sacred space with our hearts overflowing with gratitude and joined by a desire for peace, love, and understanding of our laws. We give thanks for this most precious day, for this new opportunity to rejoice with each other and with our loved ones in spirit, knowing that we are not alone in our pain or in our joys. We give thanks individually and as a spiritual community for all of our blessings. May our spirit family members and friends continue to inspire us, and may love, harmony, and infinite spirit be our unwavering companions as we continue on this journey. O loving Spirit, Amen. I know that's a long invocation, but I really kind of liked that one. It kind of covers a lot of ground. If you could please now turn to the inside front cover of your Spiritualist Hymnals, we will read together aloud the Declaration of Principles. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the Golden Rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We affirm the moral responsibility of individuals and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any soul here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing are divine attributes proven through mediumship. All right, at this time we will begin our healing portion of our service by reading the healing list, which I unfortunately forgot again. I seem to do that every week. Thank you very much, Barb. I will be reading any of the names for any of our absent members who are in need of healing. After I finish, if you have any names that you would like to add to that list, feel free to say it out loud, just the first name only, please. But in the meantime, while I am listing these names off, if you could focus on sending each of those people healing love, healing energy, healing thoughts, feelings, prayers. Without further ado, I will begin. Ruth and Hank, Jim, Paris, Casey, Deb, Ryan, CJ, Gina, Mary, Joanne, Casey. Does anyone have anyone they'd like to add?
Sam. Jake.
Irene and Audrey. Rachel.
Anyone else? Okay. And now I will be playing our healing hymn. If you could please turn your hymnals to number 11, In the Sunlight of Today. And as we are singing, if you could please keep those people in mind and keep those thoughts of sending them energy. All right, remember we're raising the vibration, so just go ahead and sing it loud, sing it happily. Sorry,
Turn it up a little bit more.
what was that?
Turn it up a little bit more.
I apologize, everybody. Technical difficulties, and now I have to find it back. It disappeared on me.
Sorry.
Apologies. One more time. Let us march and never weary, never falter by the way. Let us make the world more cheery in the sunlight of today. In the sunlight of today. In the sunlight of today. Let us make the world more cheery in the sunlight of today. Let us grasp the hand that smites us and wonder at bay. Running others never rights us in the sunlight of today. In the sunlight of today. In the sunlight of today. Let us make the world more cheery in the sunlight of today. Let us bear each other's sorrows and give sympathy instead. Looking for the bright tomorrows in the sunlight of today. In the sunlight of today. In the sunlight of today. Let us make the world more cheery in the sunlight of today. Right. Oops. Now, if you could please turn your hymnals to the back inside cover. We will be reciting aloud together the prayer for spiritual healing. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to heal both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. Amen. Right. Now our sermon for today will be given by the Christabelle Spiritualist Church student pastor, Mr. Mark Dorsett. One moment, please. Allergy season, I have a bit of a sore throat going. Now, with a few of you, I kind of talked about this morning. I have to admit that I really did kind of struggle with an idea for this week's sermon. Most often, Spirit guides me in a direction that will generally have the most profound impact on the greatest number of people who are watching these sermons as possible. Sometimes I know that my sermon is literally just meant for one person. And then there was this week. Usually I will have my next week's sermon, at least the idea, in mind before I even get done with church on Sunday. This past week, I had nothing. I was running around all week, and a lot of stuff got packed into my week, so I was thinking ahead to all of that. I hadn't really stopped long enough to sit with Spirit in any sort of real way. Now, in other words, I was so busy shoulding on myself, you know how that goes, I should take care of this right away, or, I should make sure that gets done immediately, that I hadn't stopped to be present at all in the now. So, just out of curiosity, how many of you out there can relate to what I said, that you're so busy running around filling every minute of every day with all those should be doings that, you aren't paying attention to what it is that you're actually doing in that moment? I know I certainly can, and I do appreciate all the hands coming up. Y'all knew where I was going with that. So, the middle of the week comes, and I still have no sermon idea. Of course, this obviously means that I haven't even started writing it yet. So we had our Wednesday evening spirit greeting service that night, and that afternoon I just felt an overwhelming desire to lay down and take a nap. I think we can all relate to that one too. I didn't sleep so much as just sort of pass out as soon as my head hit the pillow. And my guides actually took me to Summerland for a very long overdue chat about what I've been up to and how I really have not been paying attention to their guidance. In other words, I kind of sort of got chewed out. I mean, not really, but they wanted to remind me that I have not been practicing what I preach. And, you know, my guides were 100% correct in that, in all honesty. I know it. I'd been letting all the minutia of life really get me down. I've been and now this is where I love working with my master teacher guide, because not only was this gentleman a paranormal researcher in life, but he was quite the philosopher, psychiatrist, and published author as well. While we were there in Summerland, he reminded me of one of his nuggets of wisdom. Okay, so picture it. We're standing there in this beautiful grassy area with 2 channels of water on either side of it. We're standing in between them, and there's koi fish swimming back and forth. And to be honest, that symbolism alone could take a whole sermon for me to explain. But anyhow, there we are standing there. And as we're talking, he reminded me of something quite profound. He told me, to perceive the world differently, we must be willing to change our belief system, let the past slip away, expand our sense of now, and dissolve the fear in our minds. He's a really smart guy, can you tell? Now, I know that this is something that I've spoken about many times in many of my different sermons, but it really was a great reminder to me. Essentially, put into plain language, he was reminding me that if I want to change my world, I must first change my mind. I was so busy living in the past while obsessing about the future that I forgot what a gift the present is. And that is something that I think a lot of us forget. On top of being far too focused on everything but the now, I was worrying about a lot of things that were either out of my control or, and to be honest, there were a few things I was kind of afraid to address. I am normally someone who can do an excellent job of staying in the moment and not letting all the woulda, coulda, shouldas to get to me. Unfortunately, lately I have had a lot of things going on, and it all finally built up to the point where everything just kind of got to me. I had so many tasks that I felt I hadn't finished, but yet I felt the need to immediately take care of. You know, procrastination is a hard thing. It really was kind of overwhelming, to say the least. And to use another saying of my dear spirit guide, nothing is so fatiguing as the eternal hanging on of an uncompleted task. And I think we can all relate to that too. Now, having said that, if we take an honest and sincere look at our lives and how many of us pile so many uncompleted tasks on top of each other, if we take a really honest look at those tasks that we've piled up, how many of those do we really need to take on? Be honest with me now. A show of hands, how many of you out there can relate to that feeling of having far too many uncompleted tasks that are weighing on you? That's what I thought. Everybody out here. Now, just do yourselves a favor and take a minute and objectively look at how many of those things are weighing on you that you need to have done compared to the things that you are shoulding on yourself about. I have a feeling that once you actually start looking at all the things that are truly important or necessary, as opposed to those things that are just keeping you busy, that your list of truly necessary things is going to become significantly shorter. I just did this, actually. I just took an inventory of things yesterday and went, oh wow, I've put a lot of stuff on myself I really didn't need to do. All right, we've officially come to that point of the sermon where everybody looks at me with their heads kind of tilted and they have that duck face while squinting their eyes at me. There's a lot of this. I can hear those incredulous thoughts of a few of you already. If I have more time and I'm not doing the things that I, quote, should be doing, Well, then what am I supposed to fill my time with? You know what? Honestly, that depends on what you want to be doing. I know that's a crazy concept, right? To think about doing just what you want to do. We are not meant to fill every second of every minute of every day on our lives on meaningless, time-draining projects. Stop the glorification of busy. Give yourself permission to live in the moment and allow yourself to just be. You may find that you're a lot happier in life if you do this. One of the best things that we can do is to sit in silence. It really does help us. It really does. Do your best not to cram your life so full that you have no time to breathe, much less reflect on where you are in life. Sometimes sitting in silence can be just what we need to break through any blockages that we have. And I think we can all relate to that. We're so busy running that proverbial hamster wheel that we don't have a second to stop and go, okay, where am I running to? Now, to be honest, quite often when we do start to sit in silence, it can bring up some what I will call uncomfortable truths. This can be a challenging thing at times, but it is totally, utterly, and completely worth it to spend your time on that. The more that we can sit and let go of things that ultimately do not matter, the less stressed out and worried we will be. By that same token, we are not meant to waste our lives on worry. How many of you out there, as you are overstuffing your day with shouldas like it is a Chipotle burrito, are also stressing and obsessing about those other things that are just so very important to get done? One more quote from my good old master teacher guide. I really like this one. If you believe that feeling bad or worrying long enough will change a past or future event, then you are residing on another planet with a different reality system. Can you see why the two of us get along so well? I love that thought. Alternatively, as Newt Scamander said in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, my philosophy is that by worrying, you suffer twice. How many of you out there are suffering 2, 3, a dozen times before that actual situation occurs, if it even occurs at all? And that's the big thing to remember. How often does it really happen like that? So, are you with me so far? I mean, I kind of see a few squinty duck faces still, but I'm going to try and briefly frame it this way for you. A lot of the things in our lives that we are telling ourselves that we should be doing or that we should care about for whatever reason really isn't anything that we need to care about. Let go of those woulda, coulda, shouldas and live in the moment as much as possible. Why, you ask? Go ahead, ask.
Why?
I'm so glad you asked. Because it was Dr. Theodore Geisel who said, sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Now, personally, I happen to think there's a great deal of wisdom in that, so I'm actually going to say it one more time for emphasis. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Thank you, Dr. Seuss. Okay, so a show of hands out there again. How many of you can relate to that statement that sometimes we just don't see how important a moment in our lives truly is until after it's passed? That's what I thought. And that also kind of goes back to all the woulda, coulda, shouldas again. I had a feeling pretty much everybody here could understand that. No matter how young or young at heart you are, it's a very true statement. And that actually reminds me of something. Now, speaking of taking a moment, and I'm not talking about the Twix commercials right now, or maybe I'd say taking a minute, how many of you out there are aware of the significance of the number 525,600? What does that mean, Jennifer?
It's the number of minutes that are in a year.
Exactly. You get a sunflower pin. Come see me after church. As Jennifer just said, 525,600 is the number of minutes in a year. The number of individual moments that we all have as our beautiful blue marble makes one journey around our sun. Or, as the cast of the musical Rent sang, 525,600 minutes, 525,000 moments so dear. So, anyway, thank you. I know, it's Karaoke Sunday again, and Deb missed it. So, the point that I am making, though, is this. One, it's just fun to randomly break out into song, and I highly recommend it for everybody. But two, each standard year we have 525,600 individual moments that can be turned into just as many memories. That's why being present in the here and now happens to be so important. Our lives are made up of moments, big and small. Every single one of these moments are life-changing ones. Each one of these moments have an impact on our lives regardless of if it is just something small and seemingly trivial, or if it is something big and dramatic. Honestly, sometimes those seemingly small moments are the moments that turn into big moments later on. For example, imagine getting invited to a haunted cemetery tour by your best friend, and you meet the love of your life on that silly, spooky tour. It happens. That is just a perfect example of those little moments. But looking back, you see what a great night it was, and you find that you think back to it occasionally. This is also where taking pictures can come in, because personally, I am a huge photography buff, and photographs are wonderful memories contained in that moment. A word to the wise, though, protect those memories, because otherwise you'll lose them forever, and that hurts. For those of us with people that we care about who are no longer physically in our lives, think of those small, quiet moments of peace, tranquility, and joy that we all have. Even after our loved ones have gone to spirit, they will come back and remind us of those moments. As I just spoke about, quite often those little moments really do turn out to be the biggest moments when we reflect on them. I want you to take just a second while I'm speaking about my own memories and think back to one of those small moments of your own. Now, my best friend, she used to spend hours on the phone with me talking about paranormal things, and even though she's transitioned to spirit now and can get those answers firsthand for herself, I'll never forget that fun that we had. She always made life an adventure, and she still kind of does. But the same goes for the times that I'd spent with my dad growing up. Everything from playing catch in the front yard to watching him woodworking in the garage. Do you understand what I mean by that? Just those little moments like that really do mean a lot. Those little moments that mean a lot. It is so important to be in the moment and recognize those moments and the importance of those times spent happily, joyfully, and just peacefully. So now that you are able to, as Dr. Seuss said, recognize the value of a moment, let's talk for just a minute about how spiritualism can help you to not only be present in the moment, but to also value each of those individual moments. After all, we are in a beautiful little chapel, aren't we? One of the many wonderful things that spiritualism teaches us is that by living in the now, we have access to an amazing amount and honestly an unlimited amount of guidance, grace, and wisdom that can help us to become truly better, stronger, happier people. And I know some of you are probably waiting the whole sermon for that. It truly is of the utmost importance to clear your mind and clear your schedule. And I see a lot of people going, what? But remember how important it is to clear your schedule. Remember how I spoke at the beginning of this sermon about having so many things to do and being so busy running around that I couldn't hear what my guides were saying? Yeah, don't be me. I'd forgotten my own personal cause, which, as I said earlier, is for all of us to stop the glorification of busy. Learn the lesson that I was reminded of this past week by cramming your mind and schedule so full of all those woulda, coulda, shouldas, you are missing out on those moments that matter. When you clear your mind and you allow yourself the time to just be, you will find that your days go much more smoothly, happily, and less stressfully. As you go forth this week, remember to be present wherever you are. Don't should on yourself. Take just a moment each day and focus on the now. Live in the moment and be aware that each year you have that 525,600 chances to create wonderful new memories. It is also our hope here at the Christabelle Spiritualist Church that you get to have many happy and inspired moments while you are here with us in our wonderful little chapel. Live in the now and live the life of spiritualist truth. Go forth, pay attention to those moments, and make some wonderfully happy memories. Thank you. Now, at this time, if Delilah, would you like to be our usher for the day? All you need to do is grab one of those and stay right here for just a second. We'll do our prayer. If everyone could please bow their heads. Infinite Spirit, we give thanks for these gifts so generously given. Without these gifts, we cannot grow. We ask a blessing for what is shared with us today and a special blessing for the givers. May they continue seeing the law of abundance in their lives. We dedicate these gifts to the future of our church and to spiritualism. Amen. All right. Sorry. Take that. All right, you may be seated, and thank you very much for your help today. All right, and now begins our spirit greetings portion of today. Please, for our spirit greeting hymns, I always ask that we stand because it does help to raise the vibration in the chapel, and it just sort of gets the blood flowing a little bit. You know, we're kind of midway through the service, and if you could all please turn your hymnals to page 85, and we will be singing The Great Oversoul. Pardon me 1 second. There we go. I know God's presence ever in all things doth abide. I see it in the heavens where darkness there can hide. I see it in the waters, the sea's relentless tide. I'll sing this truth forever, all things in God abide. The shining wings of morning can never carry me where God's real presence faileth, where God can never be. His truth is precious ever, His thought is dear to me. As I am not abiding, so God abides in me. You may be seated. All right, now we begin officially the spirit greeting portion of our service today. And I know that I say this every week, but I do feel it's necessary, just as a refresher for everyone. When when your medium comes to you, if you're interested in receiving a reading, if you could please stand and just tell them yes, you'd like them to come to you. If you're not interested in any sort of a reading, feel free to just remain seated and tell them no thank you, and they'll move right on to the next person. Okay, and spirits tell me that we are done for tonight, or for this afternoon, morning, whatever it is. As always, if any of our spirit greeting messages really spoke to you, please fill out a mediumship affidavit. They're at the table in the back left of the chapel there. And our student mediums do need those to become certified with the NSAC, with the National Spiritualist Association of Churches. And at this time, if you could please turn your hymnals to page number 6. We will be singing Hand in Hand with the Angels. As soon as I find it, we will play it. Now, if you could please close bow your heads for our closing benediction. We close this service with the deepest gratitude for this day. We ask a blessing on all who have taken time to join us today. May we be ever learning, ever moving forward beyond the errors of the past, and knowing that we have an endless supply of new beginnings. Amen. This will officially conclude our Christabelle church service for today. Thank you all for coming. Have a wonderful week ahead. Now, if you all want to kind of hang out and just kind of talk for a minute, or if you want to head out the door and enjoy this beautiful day, I just want to, before everybody gets up and leaves, I just want to tell you how much I personally, as your student pastor, how much I appreciate each and every one of you coming today, how much I appreciate the offerings to help keep the lights on, the rummage sale items. It really does mean a lot that all of you have taken that time and that energy because you believe in this church. And so thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Now, you may go.
We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, thank you.